Let's move on to main topic number 2. And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Arturo Beltran, who writes, "Hey, John, have you heard the new rumor yet? Kevin Smith said Charlie Cox's Daredevil himself is being reported to appear as Spider-Man's lawyer in the upcoming Spider-Man films. Is this the Avengers TV crossover we want? Thanks, and keep up the great work." All right. So this one is a bit of a doozy. It's frustrating and fascinating all at the same time. For those of you who have not heard about this yet, here's the basic gist of it. Okay, this is what's going on. So Kevin Smith was talking on his podcast, and he dropped this on his podcast, Fat Man on Batman. He wrote this: "I heard another piece of good effing news," he said. "Did you hear that Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man movie, is going to have a lawyer in it? Charlie Cox. They're bringing in as Matt Murdock. That's been the rumor online, and they say that's like the one that Marvel's like going, God damn it, how did that get out?" So, I always tell people, when you hear a outlandish rumor like this, that Charlie Cox appearing as Daredevil in Spider-Man 3, follow the source, follow the source. Well, people followed the source, and guess where it went to? Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith, who, by the way, appeared in the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. Kevin Smith, who is closely connected to this entire comic book, movie, and television show world. One will never accuse Kevin Smith, who is great, of not being somewhat connected, right? So that has got to force you to sit back and raise your eyebrow and go, wait a minute, what? Like, from everything we understood from what Netflix said and from what Kevin Feige said and all this stuff, everything pointed to the fact that they would do Daredevil again in the future, but it's going to be a completely rebooted Daredevil. It's not going to be Charlie Cox. It's not going to be John Bernthal as Punisher. They're going to have to reboot this whole thing and blah, 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 but it'll happen at some point. That's what everything's pointed to. And now we've got a guy with the credibility of a Kevin Smith saying Charlie Cox is going to be Matt Murdock in Spider-Man 3. Understanding that this caused a bit of a hoopla, Kevin Smith then got on social media and he wrote the following. Kevin Smith said this: "Perspective. While I too hope this rumor is true, please remember that I only talked about it with Mark Bernardin on Fat Man Beyond after I read about it on the internet, just like everyone else. This means I have no inside info. Much like everybody else, I'm just a hopeful fan." So Kevin Smith just then clarifying that, hey, I just read this rumor on the internet like everybody else. So, okay, that's interesting. So that puts it into a bit in perspective. So Rob, I decided, okay, wow, well, I should probably go and read what he read that led him to that conclusion. I can't find anything. I can't find, that doesn't mean it's not there. I just looked for it for about 10 or 15 minutes. So it doesn't mean it's not there just because I didn't find it in my first cursory 10 to 15 minute search. But I looked around thinking, where's Kevin Smith getting this from? He said he just read it online. And I'm like, okay, well, okay, that's not it. That's just referencing Kevin Smith's comment. Okay, that's just referencing Kevin Smith's comment. And I'm looking around, and I couldn't find what he was talking about. I couldn't find what he was talking about. So that leaves me with one of two possibilities, Rob. One of two possibilities. Possibility number one, maybe he's talking about something he read ages ago. I mean, maybe he's just flat out talking about something he read absolutely ages ago. That's a possibility. The other possibility is, what if it's not something he read on the internet? What if it's something that he does have a little bit of inside baseball on? This is pure fantasy speculation, everybody. Let's be clear. This is me doing pure fantasy speculation, all right? No facts here. I'm just saying, what if it is something like that and he's just covering his bases by saying, oh, it's just a rumor I read online? I'm personally still of the belief that this is not happening. We are not going to see Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock or Daredevil again. But as with all things Marvel and Kevin Feige, Rob, you can never say never. And the fact that I can't seem to find what article is Kevin Smith talking about saying, I read this online. It certainly wasn't on the Hollywood Reporter or the Wrap or Variety or Entertainment Weekly or anything. It certainly wasn't any of those. So I don't know. I'm still leaning towards, no, this is not true. This is not actually going to be happening, but it does. You'd be forgiven if you take a little bit of a pause and raise an eyebrow a bit, wouldn't you, Rob? Rob, what do you make of this whole situation?
Well, look, the funny thing about these kinds of rumors is who wouldn't want to see this happen? I mean, It would be awesome, and I think playing Matt Murdock is just the kind of thing that they could do. That would be a really cheeky thing to do. And I wouldn't put it past them. It was like when J.K. Simmons showed up at the end of Far From Home. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe that. And I thought that Kevin Feige certainly he allowed that to happen. And I think this is, of all the characters, whether it's Jessica Jones or whether it was Luke Cage, Netflix's Daredevil, I think, is the most beloved of all of those shows. And you know what? Frankly, it wouldn't surprise me because I don't know if there's a Daredevil movie in there. I don't know. Maybe there is. But with 3 seasons of a Daredevil show, that was pretty. They did a pretty good job with the character. But to bring him into the Marvel Universe and say, you know what, Daredevil's here, I think it's pretty cool because, like an Ant-Man or something, he could come back. He could be an Avenger. They could do all kinds of things with him. And just to say that he's there, in a way, I like the idea. And I could see it happening, especially if he is just Matt Murdock. Because then if he is, we know Daredevil's there. And if they want to pull that gun and use it, they can. But I love the fact that what a great way to bring him into the Marvel Universe.
It would be.
But
it's like,
do I believe it's real?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I mean, with Black Widow and with Eternals and with Doctor Strange and with Black Panther, and I don't know. They got a big slate, but throwing in Matt Murdock could be just a cool thing to do.
Because one of the other big hurdles here is my understanding has always been there's a major legal hurdle here. Because of the nature of the Netflix series and what rights there are there. And if Marvel does something new, it has to be something new. And again, everything, as you always say, Rob, everything can be negotiated, right? Everything can be negotiated. So one never knows. Again, so I would say right now, my thought on this whole thing is it's interesting. I don't believe it right now, but it's something that I'm not taking and throwing in the incinerator. I'm taking it and putting it up on a shelf and saying, I don't believe it. I don't buy it, but I'm going to kind of keep half an eye on it. I'm going to just kind of keep peeking over there to see, because you're right. Is there anybody out there who wouldn't want to see this? I don't think this is happening, but absolutely put me down. I'd be damn fascinated to see this.
I know, right? Who wouldn't?
I mean, so who wouldn't? Anyway, guys, question is, what do you think about this rumor? Do you think Kevin Smith was really just jabbering about some random nothing article he read somewhere on the internet that had no basis? Or do you think maybe there might be a little bit more something to it? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right.